Hello everyone. The first topic that I would like to discuss with you is about the early life of Saint John Paul II. So why do we need to talk about his life? So the answer is the life of a saint is one in which the gospel is luminous. In this way, the church has received an inestimable gift in Saint John Paul II. So they are really the examples, good examples of the church on how to live according to the gospel of Christ. Let us start to inquire about the date and the place of birth of the saint. He was born on May 18, 1920 in Wadowice. It's a city near Krakow. Today it's a city near Krakow in southern Poland. And although he was born into a loving family, his life was marked by suffering and loss because one by one eventually they passed away, leaving him the sole surviving member in the family. Okay. Next is the reception of the sacrament of baptism. So what is baptism? Baptism is the sacrament of salvation, an encounter with God that cleanses us from sin and makes us true children of God, sharing in His very own divine life. So Carol was baptized on June 20, 1920 in the chapel of the Holy Family of the Basilica of the Presentation of the Blessed Virgin Mary in Wadowice, southern Poland. So it is about 1 month after his birth. So when he became a pope, he returned to this church where he was baptized, and with profound veneration he embraced the threshold of the house of God, the parish church of his hometown, and in it the baptistry in which he was joined to Christ and received into the community of his church. He was baptized by Father Francis Zach. So he was 9 years old when he received his first communion and 18 when he received sacrament of confirmation. Let's talk about the derivation of his baptized name. The baptized name of the Pope is Karol Joseph Wojtyła. W is pronounced as V and L is pronounced as W. That's why the family name of Karol is pronounced as Wojtyła. The parents might have chosen the name Karol for his father and Joseph in honor of the victorious Joseph Pilsudski, or it is also possible that Karol Wojtyła, a long-time and military officer in the Austro-Hungarian Empire, picked the two names for his son in honor of the last reigning Habsburg, named Francis Joseph I and Charles I, Karol in Polish. And his nickname is none other than Lolik. He is called by his friends Lolik. Okay. At this point, let's talk about his parents. His father, Karol Joseph Wojtyła Sr., was born on July 1879 in Lipnik, now part of Bielsko-Biala. He earned his livelihood as a tailor until he was drafted into the Austrian army in 1900. So this is the occupation of his father. First, he worked as a tailor and then absorbed in the military. His mother was Emilia Wojtyła ni Kaksorovska. She was born on March 26, 1884 in Biala, Poland. And by profession, she was a school teacher. So Karol also received education from his mother. His mother taught him how to read the Bible and how to make the sign of the cross and so on and so forth. And while about his siblings, Karol was the youngest of the three children in the family. The name of his older brother is Edmund, while the name of his older sister is Olga. His older sister died during infancy around 1914, so she died before Karol's birth, so before he was born. And this the reason that he was close to his brother Edmund, because this is the his brother who have spent a lot of time with him, but unfortunately uh, he died of scarlet fever he contracted while working as a physician. So Karol was only 12 years old when his older brother died. Okay. Now, what about the world during the time of Karol? Let's talk a little about the influence in the environment. During his time's childhood, it coincided with the only period of freedom that Poland would know between 1772 and 1989. The 2 decades between Marshal Joseph Pilsudski's defeat of the Soviet Red Army in 1920 and the German invasion in 1939. Here, in this statement, it is explained that there were 2 decades that Karol experienced some kind of freedom in their country, where there are uh, no one who conquered their own country. So as a boy, Karol was athletic, often playing football as goalkeeper. And during his childhood, Wojtyła had contact with the in their town's large Jewish community. So during his early days, there was a more or less low anti-Semitism. So that was maybe the influence during his time, that he has close friends with the Jewish. He doesn't have any insecurities or whatever feeling against different religion at an early age. Okay. Now, short reflection about this family. Knowing the family of the Pope, of the saint, lead me to realize the importance of religious upbringing in the family. So in their house or their apartment is near the church, and they constantly visit to go and pray. And in the apartment where they stayed, Karol always were able to see the church, and also the picture of Mama Mary. So the parents of Karol made a great role in shaping the holy and great man. Now that as we all know, Saint John Paul II, so their families were able to create such an atmosphere at home and form children in such a way that they became outstanding people. So and his younger brother Karol, the older brother of Karol, which is Edmund, is also a doctor, a successful doctor, but unfortunately were able to survive from scarlet fever, so it died. And the family experienced really suffering because at an early age, at the age of 8, Karol lost his mother also, and at the age of 20 he lost his father. So as I have said, he is the only the sole surviving member in the family, but God has really a plan for his life. So that's his early life. So if you have questions, then you just message me. That is all for my discussion. Thank you for listening.